नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमामि सारं सच्चिदानन्दरूपम् सत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् यशोदाबेयालोकलब्धवमानम् परमिष्टमतन्तृतगोपालम् रुदन्तमुहुर्नेत्रचुक्ममे जन्ताम् कराम्बुजयुग्मेन शतं शासकं पातिरेकङ्ककण्ठा सीताय गर्भधामो अपिबातम् दीक्षालीलाभि स्वघोषं धीमहि अख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषितागेषु भक्तेर्जितार्थम् न प्रेम तस्तं साकावृत्तिमन्दे परं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षपदिं वा अचानं वृणेऽहं परेशादोऽपीहम् इदन्ते बपुर्नाथ गोपाल बाल सदा मे मनसा विद्रस्तते दन्ते मुखम्बुज अतन्तनीलय कुन्तैलय स्निग्ध भक्तिश्च गोपाल मोश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे न शरीरास्तां लक्ष्मणे नमो देव दामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभु दुःख जलाभिमान कृपादृष्टिवृष्टाति दीनं वतानो गृहाणि समामोदक्षिदिशै वेरात्मा जौबत देव चाध्वान् अयमुचितो भक्ति भजो प्रीतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं साकं मे प्रजाच्छ मुक्ते ग्रहो मे स्थितमुदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने आदरायाथ विशशदमे नमो राधिकाये तदीया प्रियाये नमोऽनन्त लीलाय देवाय नमो राधिकाये तदीया प्रियाये नमोऽनन्त लीलाय देवाय हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Jashoda Damodara Jashoda Damodara Jashoda Damodara Jashoda Damodara Jashoda Damodara Jashoda Damodara Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and mothers. Thank you
Hare
for
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, mother. Thank you for joining. So today we are serving Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, and we have done up till, let's see, 19 last week. So we'll do today, no, we did up to 18. Hare Krishna Praladananda Prabhu, nice to see you. Mother Sushilpa, Mother Aruni, Somen Prabhu, and Care Prabhu. Good. So please fold your hand and we are going to evoke the mercy for clearance of our consciousness by chanting 3 times to Lord Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Antati Vachalam Pangulangayate Giri Jat Kripatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubescha Kripa Sindhupaye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter is named by Srila Prabhupada as a knowledge of the absolute. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the name Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Many other Acharya also. Sometimes they all agree or they give little more or less on this titling. Each chapter is like that. And this chapter is concerned, as we discussed before, about the knowledge of Krishna and the process of attaining the knowledge and the result, what will be the result or end result of the such attainment knowledge. And on the third verse was how rare the devotees are, Manusyanam Sahaseshu. So this very wonderful chapter. Then Krishna discuss about what is material nature on the chapter, on the sloka 4, talks about what is the material nature. And then after that, he talks about us. We are superior. So we discussed that we are superior, soul is superior, but yet we are under the inferior. This is called, Prabhupada calls this incompatible. It is not properly situated. As a result, we suffer. And then we discuss also about what is illusion, and if we say everything is illusion like Mayavadis or impersonalism, that means we are also in illusion. But we should remember that we are in illusion, but we are not an illusion. This is a big difference. The soul is always different from the Maya nature or function. There is no component in the soul, anything of Maya. We are spirit, we are spiritual being. 100% essentially we are spiritual, but while conditioning is difficult to see. Then we also discuss about devotion, which is sustained not by tribulation or emotion, but by conviction. And we discuss, I think, 2 weeks on that. And we also discuss that how Krishna does not stand for the absolute. He is the absolute. There's a big difference of understanding. And then we went all the way to 13, 14. 13 talks about how whole world is under the spell, or you can say spell in a sense that everybody is under these 3 coverings called Sattva, Raja, Tama, or goodness, passion, and ignorance. But then Krishna claims they are under 3 modes, but I am above and they do not know me until they transcend themselves to know me. So that's made it very clear. And then 14, we talked about how, I'm just refreshing where we are. 14 talked about Daiviyesha Gunamayi, what is this material nature? And there's no way anybody can ever cross her influence, except only one, surrender to Krishna. So Krishna already started talking about surrender. It's culminated Bhagavad Gita, but surrender already began. I mean, chapter 14 is like very clear about prapadante, surrender. Then we talked about 4 types of notorious activities, you can say. Duskriti. Duskriti are not meritorious, opposite to meritorious. Devotees are meritorious, that they come, They have come. Most of the devotees, they have come due to some needs or some duty they felt, or some desire, or you can say also that next verse talks arti arthati chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukriti. So they have some kind of piety. But then Prabhupada made it very clear, if you recall, that whatever reason we have come, we cannot become pure devotee unless we have a good association of sadhus. Sadhus means those who are sincere and advanced or advancing by their association only. But then Krishna made it very distinct. A couple of weeks back we talked that out of all those four types, the wise who is in full knowledge, means if you understand this philosophy well, you are actually connected with Krishna through pure devotional service. And that person is the best. So very nice. And then Krishna says, not only the best, he's very dear to me. So that was very striking. And then last week we will discuss that anybody comes to Krishna is magnanimous soul out of those four. Magnanimous means not that they are immediately Mahabhagavat, no, but because they have come, that's proper. And because, and when they grow spiritually, not going through spiritually, growing through, GROW, and then they're situated in knowledge, then definitely we discuss about many angles to look at it, how important to understand and hear this. Then Krishna talks about that he will attain me. So that's where we stopped, and we are starting from 19. If anybody would like to recite the verse and the translation and purport, you are welcome. Chapter 7. Prahladananda Prabhu, why not you do it?
Haribol Prabhu, thank you very much for allowing me to do that. Danvat Pranam. And I would sing this sloka, which is also favorite of mine.
Oh, good.
It is such a beautiful sloka. Bhavan
Yes. I think it should be favorite of everyone.
Yeah, it's
so
one
nice.
of the best slokas.
Yeah.
Bahunam janmanam mante Gnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvam iti Samahatma sudurlabha. The translation, Sri Prabhupada writes, after many births and deaths, he who is actually knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. In the purport, Sri Prabhupada writes, the living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals after many, many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in spiritual life, and these activities constitute devotional service. Realizing these, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, that he is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from him. He realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Thus, he thinks of everything in relations to Vasudeva or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the highest goal. Such surrender great souls are very rare. This verse is very nicely explained in the 3rd chapter of Svetasvatara Upanishad. Sahasrasirsa Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sa Bhumin Visvato Vrta Tasya Tisthad Dasangulam Purusha Evedam Sarvam Yad Bhutanam Yacha Bhavyam Uttamrutat Sva Yesano Yad Annenan Tirohati. In the Chandogya Upanishad 5.1.15, it is said, Navai vacho na chakshumsi na srotrani na manamsiti achaksate prani iti eva chaksate prano hi avaitani sarvani bhavanti. In the body of a living entity, living being, neither the power to speak, nor the power to see, nor the power to hear, nor the power to think is the prime factor. It is life which is the center of all activities. Similarly, Lord Vasudeva, or the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is the prime entity in everything. In this body, there are powers of speaking, of seeing, of hearing, of mental activities, etc. But these are not important if not related to the Supreme Lord. And because Vasudeva is all pervading and everything is Vasudeva, the devotees surrender in full knowledge. I refer to Bhagavad Gita 7.17 and 11.40. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Very nice, Prabhu. So I was thinking it's very, very interesting chapter, isn't it? We're talking about the people who have surrendered. Now here is another verse. Bhunam janmanamante gyanamam prapaddante. There is a word is there. Gyanavan, who surrendered. So this is a second time in this chapter, surrender word. To Sri Krishna, and very, very specific. You could say the other 4 types of people come to God and 4 types of notorious don't come to God. So you could say that 4 types of people likes to surrender but not to Krishna. And 4 types of don't want to surrender at all. They are notorious, not meritorious. So 7.14 talks about we should surrender to Krishna. Then we will go beyond material nature or Maya. And 5, we discussed that talks about 4 categories of people who do not surrender to Krishna. Now 16 to 19 talks about categories of people who start worshipping Krishna. Eventually they surrender to Krishna. So talking about bhajante, from bhajante the progression moves onward. And 19 here, this verse, it comes to prapaddate, surrender. So they become one-pointed in devotional service to the Supreme Lord. How to, maybe we can see word to word meaning what Prabhupada says. Now, Bhunam Janmanam Ante. So after many lifetimes, those who are surrendering, I mean, who are we talking about? Many of us even. Some of us easily we feel like attraction to the knowledge of Krishna and we progress. Even though it is Kali Yuga, but actually a lot of great souls are taking birth right now. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says when he had a struggle to find one Chaitanya Charitamrita, it took for weeks and weeks, was not easy. Just for one to copy it, almost extinct, you can say. And now you can go to Google's, you type Bhagavad Gita, oh my God, there's like almost 1, 2, 3, 4, many sources you can get. And Bhagavad Gita as it is also, many sources, many devotees. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that means many great souls are coming. I like that logic he gave. Many great souls are coming. That's why many discussion taking place on this Krishna consciousness. So, because in this verse, he said, after many lifetimes, Gyanavan, when the person become Gyanavan, what is the big deal about Gyanavan? Well, he will become surrender soul. They surrender to me. What is their understanding in surrendering to me? You may wonder. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. They understand that Lord Vasudeva is everything. And there is no reality higher than Vasudeva. That's also what it means. There's a two-way to look at it. And then Krishna, the way Krishna speaks, and then here Krishna puts so Mahatma, such a great soul, Sudurlava, extremely rare. Durlabh and Sudurlabh. Durlabh is rare, Sudurlabh means extremely rare. So Krishna is speaking about progression from one level of reality to a higher level of reality. Or you can say one level of consciousness to higher level of consciousness. So first, Bhaunam Janmanamante, after many lifetimes, what is he referring to? He is referring to 4 categories of people who comes to him. That 16 verse that we discussed before. So those are people who start doing bhajante. Now bhajante here, bhaj is a service, seva. Bhaj is not only singing. Generally in Bengal it's a bhajan. Bhajan sadhan, do some bhajan sadhan. Sadhan karo, bhajan karo, marte janle hai. Prabhupada also quoted this. But bhaj means actually service. Whether service to holy name or service to Bhagavad Gita, but the mood has to be service. Not erudite scholarship. Not that mood that I want to be scholar. No, service. We are servant, we are serving. Then is bhaj. Verbal root. So bhajante to prapaddate is a progression. Bhajante to prapaddate, which can take several lifetimes, depending on the intensity of the practice. You know, I was thinking also in one point, I mean, what is the loss if I have to come back? But of course, that's not my plan. But even if I have to come back, there is nothing lost. As long as I'm careful not to commit offense, Krishna will arrange, because I cannot arrange. I can only try to progress. But Krishna arranged. Karmana daiva netrena jantu de. By daiva netra, Krishna will arrange that we come to a place or a facility that where we will keep on serving or wherever left over. So there may be many people who do bhakti as a casual activity within the journey of their life. You know, they do very enthusiastically for a few years and then they slow down. Maybe they drifted away for a while and then come back. That's also I saw some. But beyond that, bhakti can be performed much more seriously, intensely, and single-pointed level. So that is the kind of bhakti which is Krishna talking over here. When he talks about prapaddate, bhaunam jamante, bho janmanamante, so after many life, one moves from bhajate to prapaddate. This is a meditation. Where am I? Gyanavan mam prapaddate. And symptom is that they have good understanding. Now, artha, jigyasu, arthati, gyani, all 4 are sukritina. They have a sukriti, means meritorious. They are meritorious. They do some good ritual. You will see a lot of people comes to temple, they give donation. Even I saw in New York, the Western people walking by, we were in the park chanting together in New York. Even the Western people, they stand there, they watch, and then they start dancing also with us. These are also Sukriti. They are piling up. They are not, of course, thinking that way, but but they are accumulating a lot of, because they are dancing and chanting. Even imitation to bhakti is very good. That's not our process, but it is sukriti. So all four people are having pious credit. What is the pious credit referring to? This actually refers to spiritual pious credit, in the sense that they have done some kind of bhakti in some way, but not directly doing bhakti as knowing bhakti. Just like this person standing, you can still see that they are doing this in New York. Every day, 5 days a week they go. And they make people actually dance, chant, take books. These are called agyata sukriti, unknowingly done pious devotional activities. They have done which is conducive to bhakti. Jiva Goswami Pad gives agyata sukriti example that one hunter, he was shooting an arrow, and this dog was in a forest, and there was an old Vishnu temple. Salagram Shila was still there, and the dog is going around like parikrama on this temple, because he did so many parikrama. Next life, he is born in a Vaishnava family, and he started his journey as a Vaishnava. Now question comes, how is that for the dog becomes a Vaishnava family, right? Well, he did parikrama. But was the dog aware of it? No. But some or other, it came in contact with this old temple in the forest. So that means, say, while doing gardening, they have watered tulasi. We can say that. I saw Hindu places in Orissa. Many, you're talking about thousands of people, they actually water tulasi in this month, especially. They are so-called Hindu, maybe they eat fish, I don't know. But still they serve tulasi. I saw them. So these are also agyata sukriti. Giving some charity, generally they given some charity to Krishna. A lot of people, even Western, Eastern, doesn't matter. I saw even in Adi Keshav Prabhu today over the phone, he lives in Germany, and he said, yeah, the people we promote this for this month, and a lot of people walking by, they come in and they offer lamp. Now, you may think like here they have no clue, but they are encouraged by the devotee, inspired devotee, that, oh, would you like to offer lamp to God? And that place, it's right on the main street, people walking. And he said, so many people actually do. They just come and offer lamp. And one devotee show them how to offer lamp, and they do. And in Malaysia is a Muslim country, but you have over 50% Muslim. This month, 1 month, every day they offer lamp. It became like a national something festival. Now they are not thinking I'm becoming Hindu or Hare Krishna or something. They just offer it, it's good luck, and they feel it's good. That Prabhu, who was fully aware of this program there, he said 50%. You're talking about thousands and thousands of people are offering lamp today, every day for 1 month. It's promoted nationwide. And Muslim government actually even supported this. It's a good luck for the country, good luck for the citizen. Let's do it. So they promoted. So now you have a lakhs of people offering lamp to Damodar, and they can download from their website, government website, and they leave it there in their phone or computer, and they offer lamp. It's interesting how Krishna consciousness is spreading. Like Prabhupada knew this. That's why he trickily, very wonderfully, he injected this. So now it's growing. So here Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Vasudeva is everything. So Mahatma Sudurlabha. When you feel like this, Krishna is everything. When you have a complete understanding, then you are that personality also, extreme soul. I'm talking about amongst ourselves. It's not somebody outside. Amongst ourselves, you will see. Whoever has good understanding means they're surrendered. They are good in sadhana, good in following the rules, regulation, and they will not eat anything not offered to Krishna. These are actually those souls. So what is their understanding? I'm going to mention a few minutes. They understand that there is no higher reality than Sri Krishna. Because of it, they surrendered to Krishna. When they surrendered to Krishna, what happens? Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So when they surrender like this, they become purified. They become elevated. And gradually they become completely fixed in the worship of Krishna. That is called prapadyate. It's not something, t-shirt or some kind of a certificate. It is their intention and action. So it is interesting that although they understand Vasudeva to be Sarvam, that is not the pantheistic, which means everything is God. I hope you understand that. That's not what their understanding is. I mean, I'm talking about the devotees amongst us. Although they understand that Vasudeva is everything, they do not surrender to everything. They surrender to Vasudeva. It's very specific. Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is everything in one sense, but they are not surrendered to everything. They surrender to very specific Krishna. So Vasudeva Sarvam Iti means God is everything, but everything is not Vasudeva. Yes, Vasudeva has manifest everywhere. He is accessible everywhere, you can say, but it does not mean that everything is Vasudeva. Vasudeva has his own self-existence, self-glory in the spiritual world, where he manifests his transcendental and eternal personality. So they don't surrender to everything. I'm pounding this point, but they surrender to Vasudeva. When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, where is your God? He said, with my, when Hiranyakashipu said, it's called, I think they call in English, machete, karga. Karga is to chop the, goat in Kali temple. They have this big karga, I think they call karga. In America, they call machete or something. Machete may be also Latin, I'm not sure. But it's a big, not a sword. So he said, where is he? Now, where is he everywhere? That's a very nice, if you really deeply think, Hiranyakashipu is not a dummy, he's a very genius. I just heard today that Ravana gave a commentary on Rig Veda, and there is a whole book about him. In Vrindavan, there is a Ravan follower, has a one temple. They worship Ravan. I was like, wow, this is far out. In Kali Yuga, you have all these types of worshipper. And they have that Ravana, actually, that's true. Ravana was a scholarly, he had a Brahman thread because he come from a Brahman dynasty, one of the descendant of Satarupa and what's his name? Krishna. Satarupa, Swayambhuva Manu. Their whole dynasty that break down. And then Pulastha Rishi married one of the girl of Devahuti and Kapil Dev's 9 daughters. And that's descendant, that's split into 2. Anyway, it's a whole generation is given. So Ravana comes from there. So he had a Brahman thread, and they would do Varnashram system. I was like very surprised to see that this is there. This devotee was telling me today over the phone from Vrindavan. He says, we went to Ravana temple just to check it out. Actually, his commentary on Rig Ved was surprised. This guy was a very scholarly. Interesting. It's interesting. Actually, even as I was mentioned, Hiranyakashipu was very, very, I would say, very sharp, very sharp. I mean, to do austerity for 36,000 years, I don't know if every devotee can do that. I mean, this is very remarkable. Brahmaji said it is doubtful in future somebody will do like this. Standing on a toes, 36,000 years. This is very tough. Of course, his goal was not a good one, but still the austerity part was very attractive. So he asked Prahlad, where is everywhere? Is he in the pillar? Why is asking in the pillar? He already heard that he is everywhere. So he's asking, is everywhere is the pillar also? So it's very interesting the way he asked. Is he in this pillar? Very specific. So Prahlad said, yes, Vishnu is everywhere. He is in this pillar also. To clarify this. So then Hiranyakashipu hit on that pillar. And Lord Nrsimhadev appeared from there. So now when Nrsimhadev emerges from the pillar, Prahlad Maharaj does not offer obeisances to the pillar. This is a very interesting. We should remember. Prahlad Maharaj may thought, of course, temple is an object of worship, but we don't just worship the temple. We worship the altar where the Lord is there. It's a very important. But we respect the Suddha Sattva. Because Suddha Sattva, from Suddha Sattva, pure goodness, temple, floor, everything is Suddha Sattva in that sense. But Sattam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabditam Jat Hayate Puman Apaprita Sattecha Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudeva. So Sattecha Tasmin. So yes, pure goodness where the access of Bhagavan is there. Means there is no curtain. You can literally see pure goodness. Rupa Goswami Pad related to our life. He says, Krishna Sakshat Krito Jugga Sasadaka Parikirtita. So Krishna Sakshat Krito Jugga. When somebody comes to Vishuddha Sattva, means he actually transcended, means he is eligible to see Krishna. He didn't say he's seeing Krishna, he said he's eligible. Jogga. Krishna Sakshat Krito Jogga. So Sadhaka Parikirtita. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he said. So that was very attractive position that we all should shoot immediately. Maybe if it is not today, maybe tomorrow or as soon as possible, we should try to come to that level. So then, so Vasudeva Sarvamiti, the person understand, Gyanavan understand that Vasudeva is everything. So now this verse also explain the Vishnu Sahasranam, and we discuss about how Maya intervened. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur made a comment I was reading this morning that if Maya intervened to the advanced soul, how they relate or deal with the material nature. So there are a few ways to look at it. One way is if Krishna takes away, of course, Krishna is a sanctioner. Maya is not independent. Maya is eternally dependent on Krishna's sanction. Eternally, not sometime, eternally. So if Krishna takes away things that can take us away from him, don't go away from him. This was a conclusion of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. First, we are soul, we are parts, and Krishna is the whole. As long as we are not lovingly connected with him, we are dragged towards various worldly objects in vain search for pleasure. Second point, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur made, he is our greatest need. Need, concern, and interest. These three things are very important in sadhaka's life. So you should always meditate. Krishna is our greatest need. He is underlining attractive principle in everything that attracts us in this world. He was emphasizing we should think like that. And third point is the things we hold very dear, close to our heart, as our need, may take us away from him if we become too attached to them. So we have to be very conscious, not that I'm chanting, everything else will be okay. No. You are chanting means you are advancing, but you have to be alert. What is that? Khurashadhara Nishita Durattaya. Khurashadhara, in India village, I saw, maybe in town also, still today, they have a razor blade. America, they have a sophisticated razor blade, but in India, khur means is like they do sharpening on the rock or leather somewhere. And if this person who is shaving is little inattentive, it depends. If it is really sharp, it will cut a big deal. And if it is not sharp, maybe it will not cut much. So if you are advancing means you are walking on a razor blade. I'm not trying to scare, but this is what I understand. That advanced devotee, little mistake can be a horrible things. So when we approach Krishna, the ultimate blessing is not that we get the things we think we need, but that we realize he is our greatest need. So to help us gain this realization, Krishna may take away things we treasure so that we have nothing except him to hold on to. Prabhupada is the best example of this. Prabhupada literally cried in 1968 lecture, you can hear that how Krishna was making his business fail. The people who borrowed medicine supply, they're supposed to pay him 30 days, 60 days, and then don't want to pay. So Prabhupada said it was like a one by one, it's like falling apart. And great thing with Prabhupada that he was holding tightly and more things falling apart, he was going towards Krishna, Guru and Krishna. So it's a very good example. But you know, sometime I used to get scared of hearing this. But it's actually heart become jubilation when we think like this. Bhishmadev says Krishna is our problem solver. This was his forefront eyeglasses, you can say. He said he always saw Krishna as a problem solver. He even mentioned to Duryodhana, but Duryodhana didn't take it. Krishna sees as a means for solving problem. Krishna as a means for solving problems, and try to see problem as a means for seeking God. Then we will be okay. Because most people turn towards God when they face problem. If you really go down, deep down in your life, even in my life, I prayed mostly until now. Nowadays I pray because it's a habit and I feel good also. I want to pray for no reason, but still I pray. For no reason means I think like hey, there has to be some reason. But most of my life when I prayed only when I am in trouble more. It's very true. So 716 appreciate the virtuous, those who seek Krishna as their problem solver. And this verse, Gyanovan Mam Prapannate, it asserts that those in knowledge have a more holistic vision of God. Krishna. He's everything, the ultimate source of all satisfaction. Whatever relief we might get on solving our problem, we will get all that and more through absorption in him. This is a Damodar month. We should absorb. I love this actually now, Damodar Ashtakam, and I hope you all love that. You can just sing wherever you are, whether taking shower or driving or in the temple, just keep on singing and just meditate on that form. Complementing this endeavoring vision of Krishna, that's why Bhagavad Gita offers I would say, a sobering vision of the world. It is intrinsically a place of problem. Next chapter we'll see, 8:15. Expecting this world to be free from problem is like expecting a desert to be free from heat. Well, that's never going to happen. Prabhus and mothers, you all know, prison will never become paradise. But guess what? The superintendent told me, a lot of inmates try to adjust to a point, then they get used to it, that they think they want to stay there. But the prison is not made for that. It's for correction. But they forget. So, I mean, I'm saying prison, but we also have this problem. We like this world sometimes. We think like we are okay. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, when advanced devotee think like this, Krishna purposely give little sickness, disease to that devotee. I was thinking, wow, why? You know, of course, next sentence, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exact sentence. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, because Krishna say that this soul actually intensely prayed to come back and to serve. But because he's advancing, you know, connection with Shuddha Sattva makes this world is comfortable. But that's not safe for them. He should come back. The service is the key. Service is the key, not so much of place. So to like I mentioned about, you know, desert. To become free from heat, we need to get out of the desert. That is the bottom line. To become free from problems, we need to get out of the material world, or more specifically, out of the material consciousness that keeps us in this world. It is not so much of the location or situation. It is our focus, our consciousness, where we are focusing, what we are focusing. Because pertinently, you can say that Damodarashtakam or Gita states that knowledgeable contemplate life's inescapable distress and become unflinchingly devoted to Krishna. So the implication is that we learn to see the world's problem as spurs for seeking Krishna. Does this mean we neglect our problems? We don't take care of our family or children or other? No, we can seek specific solution to specific causes without getting caught in such specifics. We can focus on the ultimate solution, cultivating Krishna consciousness. We will gain the inner strength to tolerate problems. The biggest thing, even with the devotee in the beginning stage, it is not the problem, it's just the tolerance of the problem. Why this is happening with me? I'm chanting. Why this is happening? Instead of focusing on, just pray to Krishna and chant, keep on chanting. Do some service, practical service to please the Lord. And you'll see eventually we will attain Krishna in his abode. Transcending the world with all its problem, we can seek Krishna as the solver, not of our many particular problems, but of the underlying problem of material consciousness. So my request is that don't see Krishna as a means of solving problems. See problems as a means for seeking Krishna. That view is healthier. Because if you have knowledge about Krishna, it will protect and propels. Because many people actually come to God for their material desire. But problem is, I feel now, to see Krishna's love through the filter of our desire is like to blind ourselves to his love. I saw like a child gets infatuated with a toy. Toys, what do they call? Toys R Us. Yeah, toy store. And demand it from his mother. I saw. And if she refuses, he cries. You don't love me. I was like a shock. I was like, wow, this Bhagavad Gita explanation is right here in this episode. Mommy, you don't love me, you're not buying this toy for me. The mother has done so much to raise that child, but he reduces her love to the toy. We are also, Prabhu's and mother, sometimes childishly reductionistic in our relationship with our Supreme Father Krishna. When we don't get something that we pray for, we start doubting Krishna's, connection or love. It's only because of his love that we exist at all. We have the many necessities of life, isn't it? That millions struggle to get. That we have an opportunity to connect with him in today's world where millions live and die godlessly. But we cannot see any of this when the filter of our attachment conditions our vision. Of course, the things we want may be far more serious than the toys, you may say. I'm not talking about toys, Prabhu. I have a serious problem with my children or my health. Yes, still, from a long-term perspective, Prabhu's and mother, we understand that things which seem indispensable at one time are seen as non-essential in retrospect. I don't want to elaborate my life. I saw that also in my life. And you can relate. If you reflect, you'll see in your life many times you went through like that. Seeing things in perspective become easier when we have a spiritual self-understanding. When we understand that we are at our core soul, eternal spirit, part of Krishna, the supreme whole. So, Bhagavad Gita appreciates as pious who approach Krishna for getting material things like 716, 4 types of Sukriti Jana. But here in this verse, the beauty of this verse, Gyanavan Mam Prapaddate, that they need many lifetimes of spiritual evolution to come to the level of realizing that he is everything. That everything which promises shelter or pleasure has its source in him. That he is his greatest blessing. By cultivating philosophical understanding, Prabhu's and mother, and practicing this Damodar Brata, Bhakti Yoga, we can realize the shelter and pleasure available in Krishna. And then you'll see getting the impetus to cast aside the blinding filter of our attachment. And if we keep growing like this, by this accelerating our spiritual evolution, each of us will relish undistorted his eternal love for us. Any further discussion, or it's almost 6:30? Now the next session of Bhagavad Gita, that the text 20 is talking about very interesting verse. Kamestesteritajnana prapadantanna devata. Those who surrender to somebody else. At least they have come to surrender, but they surrendered to somebody else, not to Krishna. So Krishna will talk about, very nice. We can discuss that next week. Any further, or we can close here? Any takeaway? Prahladananda Prabhu or anybody?
Haribol Prabhuji, thank you very much. You are mentioning about Muslims worshipping Lord Sri Krishna. Recently, some few months back, I was at ISKCON temple, and I was with my family. And then one young man, he approached me within the hall there, and he asked me whether he can take some pictures there. I said, well, I don't belong to the temple, but I myself have taken pictures of deities, and so nobody has objected, you can go ahead. So he took pictures of Sri Prabhupada and deities and like that. Then I was just standing still. Again, he came back. Prabhuji, thank you. And he didn't say Prabhuji, but he says, thank you very much for like this. Then I asked him, why you are taking pictures? Do you worship this at home? And he said, no, I'm a Muslim. And I have his picture with me, this boy. Yeah. I took his picture and I gave him signs of self-realization after we completed conversation. So he says, I want to know about Hinduism. That's why I said, where do you stay? He says, I stay in Las Vegas. I said, I also stay in Las Vegas. He said, I'm a student, so I'm still there for some time and then I'll move to Phoenix. I said, okay. And then he says, what do you think about, India and Pakistan and all that? People are, different faith. I said, the first thing is, you are not a Muslim, I'm not a Hindu. You are not this body, I'm not this body. He was surprised so much. He says, all you Hindus believe like this? This is what he asked me exactly. I said, I don't know about others, but I believe because of that guru whose picture you have taken. Right? And this is the book. I gave him the book. I carried the book in my pocket. I gave him the book. And I said, read this. This will give you a complete picture of what this philosophy of what you call Hinduism is. So he thanked me and went away. So I did my part playing
Very nice.
Prabhupada's book like that. So
that is very nice, Prahladananda Prabhu. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Because if you ever have a chance, you can go to Malaysia. Like how many devotees? They're really some or other, whoever came up with this idea to reach to the government and make it national festival was such a genius.
Right.
If we can do this to every country, Damodar month, 1 month, all over the world, they're offering lamp. Why not? This is Krishna's world. But before, without ISKCON, nobody ever thought that way, in a mass distribution of Krishna consciousness. So nice. Prabhupada is eternally our well-wisher. I feel very indebted, and I see you have a lot of love for Prabhupada, and so nice. Every one of us.
Everyone.
Yes, yes.
Anyone who comes in touch with Prabhupada, he cannot remain without, getting some spiritual benefit. Agnat Sukruti, as you say.
If you look at Denver, Colorado, there are few Iranian boys there. Muhammad Ali, they are all really sincere, serious devotees. There's really serious devotees. It was very nice to see that.
In Iran, now all the women there, they are against all this philosophy and all that.
Yes,
so I hope somebody can give them some Prabhupada books and they will really get it, because they are in such a situation that they will get the real knowledge.
Yeah. Well, they have actually over 50 groups of Namhattas.
Oh, in Iran?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
They chant, they follow four regularity principle. They don't think as a religion. This is just a bhakti yoga. And yoga is allowed from Shah's time. Before Ayatollah Khomeini came, Shah was running at that time, because when Prabhupada went there, Atreya Rishi, he's also Iranian.
Atreya Rishi, yes.
Yeah, Prabhupada's disciple. They were in the hotel. Prabhupada appreciated the Islam religion's prayers of the children early days. To be honestly, a lot of Hindus, they don't train the children to have a prayers or reading early days. They don't. I saw in India. They're just doing it just like a regular eat, sleep. Durga Puja, they dance. I don't know what they understand, and then they go back. Kormi life. That's how it is. Very unfortunate. But Prabhupada appreciated that how Muslim children, what they call Jamia Islamia, something like that. Some school, kabad for the Jewish people. That's very necessary. Now, due to ISKCON in India, they are now a lot of school adopting Bhagavad Gita in the morning before school began. Gita Gan. That's very extremely rare. I heard in Tripura, the state Tripura, the government actually asked our Maharaj to actually introduce Krishna consciousness to all the public schools in the state. So that's a great opportunity we got. So
I was fortunate in the school where I was studying. It's from standard 7. This is in Baroda, India. We used to sing second chapter every Friday assembly after the prayers. You know, they select slokas for Sita Pragnasya Kabhasa Samadhisya Sikhis. Like that. So that's the time we learned some Bhagavad Gita. The last time I visited the school, I donated a lot of Bhagavad Gita books in Gujarati to the school headmaster. I said, let's do this again if you are not doing like that. So
wonderful.
They appreciated that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So, Somen Prabhu, you wanted to say something, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Yeah. So, Prabhu, this 7.19, right? We discussed today.
Yes.
Today. So, yeah, Prabhu, there are some points that struck in my mind. That is very good that you told that there are like some devotees that at 7.16 verse, there are 4 types of people that that was discussed about, and they actually got some Agata Sukriti, right? So that means they actually did some pious activity, but still not attained Lord Krishna totally. So that's why it came to the like bhajante, bhajante, that concept. Like bhajante means they did some kind of devotional activities, but they still didn't surrender to Krishna totally. So that's why they has to they actually accumulated some pious activities, but in order to attain to the prapadyate, that means to completely attain Krishna, they has to completely surrender to him. So that's why it comes to the Vasudeva Sabarmiti, right? So that means they completely has to surrender to the Lord Vasudeva himself, so that they can get Krishna himself. That is this 7.19 talks about, right, Prabhu?
Very nice. Yes. Vasudeva Sarvamiti.
Yeah.
Vasudeva, when they understand this, they surrender. Very good. You got it. Bhajante to prapaddate.
They have to transit, and it will not a single lifetime. It can go to the several life after life to attain the Lord Krishna.
That is true. But Prabhu, you already here. If you look at it, I was thinking, I'm already here. Why another life? Why not I make it here, this life?
Yes.
It's individual choice. Yes. Krishna is not going to force, but facility is there. And I was thinking like, you know, on 2 principle, there are 6 folds of surrender. 2 principle, if you can remember every day.
Yeah.
What am I going to do today that will bring pleasure to Prabhupada and Krishna? Yes. Consider your family maintenance as a maintaining devotee's family. So you have to work hard to earn money. Not that you give up everything and sit down under a tree and chant. That's not what. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a court magistrate. Yes. He was going to the job every day. He was not escaping from the job. Yes. So whatever we do, how we can please Prabhupada, you think like this. What can I do to please Prabhupada today? And what I don't want to do, that will also bring pleasure to you. Just like 4 equality principle, I'm not going to break it. That will bring pleasure to you. So like this, you think negative, positive, then already you are prapaddate. you are surrendering.
Yes.
Surrendering will not be like all of a sudden diploma, certificate. Okay, you are surrendered soul. Not like that. It's a gradual progression.
Yeah, but you, Prabhu, you also told that one thing, that it has to be the results of consciousness, so that it can, like after certain years, that the devotional activities can fall down and they may lose that attainment kind of thing, and they can lose that principles, right? But to come close to the to that devotional activities.
Yeah. I saw one devotee, he joined, and Prabhupada gave him sannyas, and Prabhupada told him that you should look after this construction. And after Prabhupada left in 78, 79, he was thinking, I'm a sannyasi, why should I look after this construction? But it is not the construction, it's the Prabhupada instruction. What we think of sannyasi means is one thing, but ultimately progression depends on the pleasing of Krishna, Guru. So he didn't take it seriously. He left and he went to study philosophy, but the association was not very good. As a result, he fell down within few years and went back. But he was already Western body, and he was an architect before he even joined. And so he went back to the construction business and lived for 20 years. And then all of a sudden, cancer came. He has no clue. Then he realized that he is actually doing a horrible life maintenance. And then he started crying and praying to Prabhupada and Krishna. He became so serious, the devout completely for a few years. And then he left this world, but he was surrendered at that time. So we may want to take seriously now instead of just going through here, there.
And Prabhu,
That
you
story-
actually talks about 4 types of Sukriti devotees. One is Artho Jiggasu, one is Gyani, and another one, Prabhu.
Artharti, Gyani, Jigyasu.
Gyani. Artharthi. Artharthi means, Prabhu?
Artha means, Bengali, Artha
Oh, yeah,
means,
okay.
Artha means money, looking for some material.
Okay.
They are poor, you can say.
Yeah. Understand, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you are mentioning about this devotee, but Narad Muni has already Bhagavatam said, Tyaktva dharmam charanam bhujam hare bhajan apakvasa pate tatu yadi. Even his pate, they will be rescued. Just like
There's
the
no
story
loss.
of Ram Gati Prabhu, you said. You told the Ram Gati Prabhu story. So amazing. So amazing. Is there any book I can read about that, Prabhuji? Ram
Let
Gati
me
Prabhu?
see if there is any book. They have in Ahomia language, but I don't know if somebody. Ahomia is a Assami language.
Oh, I see. But it's not in English.
No, but maybe I'll see if there is a translation. I'm sure somebody already translated.
Yeah, please. It's so kind of convincing story, you know.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol, Prabhu.
So looking forward to see all of you again next Wednesday. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubheva cha. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radha Damodar.